Hello owners and welcome to the final update for this year, 2022. CEO Ben Mannion joins us to chat through all the latest news in the world of the Queensland Thoroughbred Owners Association. And welcome Ben, it's been a busy time of year. Whilst some industries are winding down, there's been plenty going on in the racing world. We've had prize money announcements, the summer carnival's in full swing, and of course Magic Millions is just around the corner also.
Yeah, I think everyone's really excited about, particularly leading into 2023. But as a reflection of 2022, it's a great way to end the year with the prize money announcements, and we're really looking forward to those kicking in the early new year. And well done to Racing Queensland and to everyone involved in, particularly the Queensland government, in getting it to that point where we're obviously we're not going to accept totally all of it, but we think that. We think that's a great stepping stone, particularly on the back of the letter that we wrote to Racing Queensland earlier last month about where we'd like to see prize money, and it's a great stepping stone, as I said.
Okay, yeah, well, it's something that obviously we've been speaking about a lot. Anyone that's been following these updates and or reading the newsletter regularly, advocacy around prize money has been a key part of going back from the members survey and asking. So talk us through some of the key components to the announcement that was made by Racing Queensland.
Well, as I said to you, if anyone said to us at the beginning that we'd be getting $17 million into thoroughbred racing, I think anyone would go, wow, and I think we need to recognise that it's an outstanding opportunity, an outstanding achievement for us to get that type of money in. 9.2 million into metro, provincial and country tab meetings. Again, we broke that down a little bit more in our letter, and we'll go through that in a second. 1.5 into black type. We see the Stradbroke go to $3 million. We go to see the 10,000 go to 1.5. And we have I think $8 million plus races within the Queensland Carnival. So fantastic. And obviously, as I said before, the year leading into 2023 will start with a bang with the Wave and obviously Magic Millions. The Wave's becoming such a great race day in its own, but the Magic Millions are particularly interested in the debut, the new race for 2-year-olds. There's some thoughts that people haven't been aiming their horses at the 2-year-old $2 million race, and we saw nominations come out back end of last week, and there's some big numbers in relation to the debut. So really interested in seeing that. And then the big one that we advocated for, as well as the Breeders' Association, was around Qtoa, going to 4-year-olds, and we saw a $2.4 million increase into Qtoa as well. So some great outcomes there for owners. We are working on working with Racing Queensland around our friends in the north, our owners in the north particularly. There was $1,000 per race in some of those areas up north, and we'd like Racing Queensland to look a little bit harder at that particular area, particularly Cairns, Townsville, Mackay and Rockhampton and those tab venues, and see if we can get them on par with places like Toowoomba and stuff like that. So a little bit more work to do in that space, but all in all, a big tick.
Yep, step in the right direction, and as you said, I guess that's the challenge for Racing Queensland as well as the Qtoa. You're advocating for people in a wide array of different areas, and obviously this prize money announcement is broken down into different categories where it's different amounts in different areas. So
if we wanted to just go through them quickly, we went and asked metros at 100,000. We look at our friends in the south, around Melbourne, Victoria, and what other states are doing. We'd love to be able to see prize money at $100,000 per metro race. We're not quite there. We're at 85 for a majority of the races in metro on that day. And within metro midweek, we wanted to see it around 45. It's gone to 40 for maidens, 38 for your standard metro midweek, which is still some great prize money. Then on to P1, provincial one. Our trainers in southeast Queensland are shouting out and saying, they need to think about where they take their horses, particularly when New South Wales has got some great prize money across the border. So now going to 30 for maidens and 28 for your standard race is great and competes with our friends over the border. So some great initiatives there from Racing Queensland, and then as I said, those other areas have gone up $1,000 per race, and I think over time we need to make sure, being that the majority of owners sort of sit in those areas, they might race in southeast Queensland, but they are based in those areas. We really need to look after those particular tab clubs and those race meetings in those areas.
Okay, so a bit of correspondence with Racing Queensland on that and see where that leads.
Yeah, we've asked Racing Queensland just to review some of those announcements, in particular those areas. They don't have this giant pit, and we know that, but I think if we can sort of understand what their logic is around the future investment, race club investment is apparently going up. We haven't seen those numbers, but infrastructure is obviously going up as well. So I think all in all, we've got to be happy, and we've talked about the cost of ownership continually increasing. We're going to see what I think is going to be the best Magic Millions period ever coming up in 2023. We expect sales to be at a high, and that cost of ownership continually increasing. So, we want to make sure that there's a return on investment for owners, and it's a great start, as I said.
Yeah, well, some great news there with that prize money increase, and a timely one too, isn't it, Head, with the Magic Millions sales just around the corner. So great time to be an owner. Speaking of owners and members, talk us through what's the latest update on the membership front.
So over the last couple of weeks, we've launched our Owner Maroon card, which has been well received. It's quite exciting. They've been out, seen some at the track, which is great. We've got about another 30 members that have signed up over the last couple of weeks in relation to that launch of the Owner's Maroon card. We obviously want to see many more Owner Maroon cards out there, and we encourage everyone to tell their friends about it. And member packs have gone out, which is great with those Owner Maroon cards. So in those packs there's a number of benefits, including discounts around our partners and our famous Qtoa hat and pin, and crossbet stubby coolers. So we want to, as I said, get as many member packs as we can, and we'll be available around Magic Millions week to sell those members packs as well. So great that people are tapping in and wanting to know more, and getting a lot more feedback from members as well about different things. So that's been fantastic, and looking forward to seeing a lot of members at the Magic Millions.
Out and about at Magic Millions, yeah. On the racing front, as we said, it's been a busy time of year. The summer carnival's in full swing, and all roads lead to a busy start to the year in January with, as you mentioned, the Wave and Magic Millions week. Yeah,
so we haven't focused a lot this month on what's on the track, but definitely it's been some fantastic racing, and particularly the racing around Brisbane around the 3-year-olds. The weekend was fantastic to see Golden Boom, Spiritualise, and those sort of horses up and about. And obviously the Curries have got another exciting one up the mountain as well. So great effort for those guys. And as we lead into next week, we've got the Bruce McLaughlin coming up. It's obviously a really important race into that 2-year-old. And then into the King of the Mountain, we notice Apache Chase has now come out, and we wish all the connections all the best with Apache Chase. And now that's sort of blown that wide open in relation to the King of the Mountain. We wish Lizzie and Jason, all the team up at Toowoomba, all the best for that particular event on the 31st of December.
New Year's Eve, yep.
New Year's Eve should be a great night. We're looking forward to seeing that. Obviously before that, during the day, the Vo Rogue, the 3-year-old race, Group 3 race. And as I said, the stepping stone is into the Wave and the Magic Millions over that weekend of the 7th and the 14th of January, and all the shenanigans that happen within that week as well. So there just seems to be so much that goes on, and there's just so much excitement about that week at the moment. People, particularly from interstate, are shouting out and saying we're coming up, and I know that Steve Lyons and the crew have got the Calcutta, night nearly sold out. So there's some great things that happen over that week, and we wish Barry Bowditch and the Magic Millions team all the best for that week.
Yep, well, no, it's going to be a great couple of weeks with the Wave and Magic Millions, and during that period, busy period, the AGM is also going to be on the 11th.
Yeah, so our inaugural AGM is on the 11th of January at 9 o'clock at the Gold Coast Turf Club, so just before the sales start over the road, and looking forward to holding our first AGM, and there'll be some correspondence coming out about that over the next couple of weeks, or next week's got to be out by the 28th, so hopefully we'll get it all out in time, and looking forward to seeing and talk to as many owners and members as possible at that event.
because that's the opportunity, isn't it? Obviously,
Yeah.
for people to come along and hear more about how things are rolling along.
Yeah, and I think it's important. We'll be at the Magic Millions along with our colleagues at Racing Queensland. We want to talk to as many owners as possible throughout that period. So we'll be sending out messages to members and through our social media about where we're going to be on those particular times and dates. So yeah, looking forward to catching up with as many people as possible through that period.
All right, very good. Well, as we said, been lots going on and off the track, and an exciting year coming up, kicking off with a busy January, and I guess Merry Christmas to all the members and all those viewers.
Yeah, it's been a short month for us this month, obviously with Christmas coming up, but on behalf of the board and the committee of Qtoa and of Adam and myself and Jane, thanks for all your help, Jane, as well. We want to wish all of you and your families a very Merry Christmas and a safe and prosperous 2023. We look forward to seeing you at the races in 2023, and we wish you all the success over that coming year.
Very good. Well, that's a good way to wrap up. So Merry Christmas, everyone, and we'll see you in the new year.